One of the many events planned for inside here at Comerica Park is a unique doubleheader featuring 4 teams from the Ontario Hockey League. And here to talk more about their involvement is OHL Executive Council member and President of the Saginaw Spirit, Craig Goslin.
Thank you, Ken. Steve Eiserman, Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Orr, Brendan Shanahan, Dino Cicerelli, Joey Koser, Al McGinnis, Larry Robinson, Doug Gilmore, Eric Lindros, Larry Murphy, Phil Esposito. The list goes on and on of the Hall of Famers that hone their skills in the Ontario Hockey League. The OHL is one of 3 leagues that makes up the Canadian Hockey League. We've got the Quebec Major Junior League, the Western Hockey League, and the OHL, which are comprised of 60 teams. 8 of those 60 teams are from the U.S., and 52 of those teams are in Canada. These 60 teams produce much of the talent that plays today in the National Hockey League. In fact, during the last 3 NHL drafts, if you take the top 100 picks in those 3 drafts, 171 of those 300 players came out of our league from the CHL into the NHL. Young superstars of the likes of Steven Stamkos, Sidney Crosby, Claude Giroux, Gabriel Landeskog, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jeff Skinner, Logan Couture, the list goes on, and of many players that have graduated from our league and into the NHL. So on behalf of the OHL and the entire CHL, we're honored to be playing a role in this December's Hockeytown Winterfest. We have some very model and storied franchises that are participating from the OHL in this event. The London Knights, who've been a perennial champion in our league, a very model franchise, owned and managed by the Hunter brothers, Mark and Dale Hunter, both former NHLers. Have a very talented young team that just competed. They won the OHL championship last year, what we call the Robertson Cup, and they also competed in the Memorial Cup, went right to the last game of the Memorial Cup and lost by a goal. The majority of that team is back this year with London, and they'll be competing here on December 29th here at Comerica Park. Some of their esteemed alumni are Rick Nash, Patrick Kane, Corey Perry, Kyle Quincy, Sam Gagne, John Tavares, just to mention a few of the players that are London Knight alumni playing in the NHL. The Windsor Spitfires, owned and coached by NHLers Bob Bugner and Warren Reichel, and their business partner Peter Dobrich, won back-to-back Memorial Cups in 2008, 9, and 09, 10. And their famed alumni include names of the like of Adam Graves, Taylor Hall, Adam Henrique, Jason Spezza, Ed Jovanovski, Cam Fowler, Steve Downey, and a large list of other alumni. Also, the beautiful new WFCU Center in Windsor is right across the river here. They pack that with 6,500 fans every game. We expect those 6,500 and thousands of more to come across the border for many of the events that are happening here at the Hockeytown Winterfest this December, and particularly the OHL doubleheader. The Plymouth Whalers, owned by the CompuWare chairman and owner of the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes, Peter Karmanos, and coached and managed by the multi-talented Mike Vellucci. The Whalers are a team formerly known as the Detroit Junior Red Wings. Mr. Karmanos purchased the team, moved it from Detroit to Plymouth, and under Mike Vellucci's direction, have established a consistent championship caliber environment and an NHL breeding ground that really is second to none when you look at the players that have come out of Plymouth into the NHL. Brian Berard, Todd Harvey, James Neal, Tyler Seguin, David Legwan, Chad LaRose, a large list. James Wisniewski, I can go on and on about the players from Plymouth that are playing in the NHL. Then our franchise, the Saginaw Spirit, owned by auto dealer Dick Garber and myself, have become an economic engine, a huge economic indicator for the Great Lakes Bay region. We average over 4,000 fans a game and have really spawned a lot of commerce into our region, particularly into the downtown Saginaw area at the Dow Event Center. Our hockey operations are led by General Manager Jim Palafito, and our head coach is a 3-time Stanley Cup champ, 16-year NHLer Greg Gilbert. And they have a very strong young roster that will be playing here on the ice at Comerica Park, including our goalie, Jake Patterson, who the Red Wings just drafted in the 3rd round. And we're hoping that Jake is going to be the goalie on the ice here for the Spirit on December 29th for the outdoor game here for Saginaw. So on behalf of the OHL, the Executive Council, the OHL Board of Directors, its Commissioner David Branch, and all the teams that are participating here from the OHL, we'd like to thank Ken Holland for inviting us to be part of this, Tom Wilson, and the entire Illich family for putting this on. We know they've got a major investment in this, and we're really honored to be part of it. This is the first ever OHL outdoor games, and the first time only happens once. And we're really thrilled to be the first OHL outdoor games to take place here at Comerica Park. This is going to be special, and we're honored to be part of it. Thank you.
And now for the other side of things, the Executive Vice President and General Manager of the Detroit Red Wings, Ken Holland.
You know, as I sit here looking around, you really think 6 months out to be sitting here and having a full house night after night for 4 or 5 days watching OHL hockey and college hockey, American League hockey, and then having the alumni game. It's going to be really an incredible, spectacular week for downtown Detroit. So can't wait for late December. On behalf of the Detroit Red Wings organization and the Illich family, I'd like to thank you all for coming out today. This is a tremendous privilege for our organization and for our owners, our company, colleagues, and stakeholders, and this community to host the Winter Classic and the outdoor game. The Detroit-Toronto rivalry, over the years, I was just looking here, Detroit's won 275 games, Toronto's won 276, so I was just thinking there, math wasn't my best subject, but we're one game down. If we can win the alumni game, we could make the game at the Big House the ultimate rubber match. So guys, no pressure. Detroit has 646 points, Toronto has 645 points. Obviously, we both won a lot of Stanley Cups through the years, Detroit and Toronto. So this sets up as a classic week with a classic game right here, and eventually getting to the Big House in Ann Arbor. We started out this process with the alumni game of trying to put a roster together of 23, 24, 25 players in Detroit, and ultimately reached out to Toronto and felt that we had so many players that we wanted to bring out and honor and be part of these the alumni game. And Toronto's in the same situation, that we've decided to have 2 games so that we can honor probably 23 to 25 players on 2 different teams. We can have 75, 80 to 100 players of the greatest players in Leaf and Red Wing history. Not exactly sure how we're going to break down the game. That's going to be for another time, but I'm looking at this game as trip down memory lane. You know, I grew up in British Columbia. I was a diehard Toronto Maple Leaf fan growing up. Remember the '67 team. I was a goaltender, Johnny Bauer and Terry Sawchuk. And for me as a fan to be able to sit in the stadium and watch all these great Red Wing players and Leaf players on the same sheet of ice is going to be absolutely, I think, an incredible, as Dave said, for grandfathers and fathers and children to sit here. It's going to be a trip down memory lane. The roster for the players that are committed so far for the Detroit Red Wings roster, in goal so far we've got Chris Osgood and Mike Vernon. We've got obviously the Hall of Famers sitting here: Dino Ciccarelli, Alex Delvecchio, Ted Lindsay, Joe Kosher. We're gonna have the grind line playing: Joe Kosher, Chris Draper, Kirk Maltby, and Darren McCarty. That's four guys in one line. 50 goal scorers: Mickey Redmond and Johnny Ogrodnik. Hall of Famer Luke Robitaille, Larry Murphy, and Mark Howe. So we're going to get more players as we go along here, but looking forward to an incredible week in Detroit and an incredible game here at Comerica Park on December the 31st. Thanks for coming out.